Did you miss me?
I'm a poker dad. I'm a poker dad.
Been a while, guys. Took a little bit of a break, not from playing as such, more just doing the vlogs and stuff. We are playing the main event today, day 1B I think it is, the PartyPoker live tour, the London stop, and hopefully I have to go back tomorrow and then Sunday for day 3 as well. So it's a 3-dayer, it's a big one. We're playing it in partnership with the House of Tables, so they're the guys that built my table. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later. They're not like sponsoring this video or anything like that, but we're back and we've got a big one today. This is our first real hand, pocket aces, which is always a nice one. We're playing 100, 200. I make it 700 in middle position. We get the button and the big blind to call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop here with 2100 in the pot. So worth winning already. Nice little early doors. Got 20 big blinds or so in the pot. So once the dealer gets the chips sorted out, a little bit too long. Admittedly, it's 35 degrees and there's no aircon, so we're going to leave a little bit of slack for dealers and players here. Flop comes down, ace, king, 7 with 2 diamonds, so a little bit of overkill. I continue for 1,000, and unfortunately they both quickly fold. But it's always nice to drag in a pot. First break, you've seen one hand, I think. There was another. Saw a flop with king queen, folded it. Saw a flop 3-4 clubs, and there was 3 diamonds on it, folded it. The guy with the king high flush. Just nothing happened yet. This is going to be a monumental task because it's about 35 degrees in here. There's no aircon at all in the whole building. I'm just sweating. You're about to see an outfit change. I'm about to put the house table stuff on. Yeah, it's horrific. I'm just sweating from head to toe. So I'm going to get to the car, bit of aircon on this 15-minute break, just change, and then I'll be back. Hopefully with some more hands for it. Right guys, we're in the big blind here. Who should have been the small blind just got eliminated, so we're big blind only. Pocket 3, someone raises to 1,000 at the 200, 400 blind level. I defend. We go to a flop of 6, 6, 7. It goes check, check quite quickly, and the turn is a 9. I can't imagine this will help his hand too much either, so I decide to lead for 1,200. He does a little bit of accounting. As you can see, he's got quite a few chips in front of him, and he does end up sticking in a call. I think he's just floating here, ace king, ace queen, 2 overcards. So, you know, as long as we see a nice clean river, we're probably actually going to bet for value and hope to get called by ace high on a nice clean river as well. So let's hope for that. The dealer's just doing a little bit of accounting here, a little bit of change, all sorted, and the river comes down an ace. Of course it does. I check. And he now bets an amount, and I quickly fold. The funny thing was here, he thought I bet 700 on the turn, which is why he decided to call. If he knew it was 1,200, he said he would have actually folded. So cool. Anyway, on to the next one. Right, we've got a premium here, guys. We're looking down at ace king on the button. The quite aggressive, in fact, very aggressive player. A couple to my right here has made it 1,300. Even on the button here, I think this is a good opportunity to free bet. So obviously we make it 3,600. The big blind and the initial raiser both put in a call. So we're going 3 ways to the flop. It's a very, very, very favourable flop for me. It comes down ace, ace, 4 with 2 hearts. Now the big blind and the initial raiser both check. I bet 2.5, so 2.5, 2,500 on this flop. I think it's absolutely fine to continue on this board even with the strength of my hand, because I should really be betting my full range here, third pot, so it's absolutely fine to bet even though we're strong. The big blind folds and the initial raiser does stick in the call. Just heads up here to the turn card, which is the 9 of clubs. The initial raiser checks, and I decide to get a little bit tricky here and check behind, hoping just for a nice clean river. So it goes check, check on the turn. He thought I checked. There's a little conversation. He thought I checked that turn. I didn't. I was asked if he checked. Anyway, it goes check, check. The river, can't remember what it was brick, it wasn't a heart or anything like that, it was just a low card. He checks, and I now decide to size up a little bit, making it look like maybe I've missed flush draws, that kind of thing. I make it 8.5k. I've also seen him call light a couple of times already. He's been right as well, to be fair, but yeah. So I thought there's an opportunity here to get paid. And he announces that he has a pair, and he sticks in a call, and obviously we're massive here, so nice pot coming our way. Right, on to the next one here, guys. We look down at pocket sevens under the gun. Aggie limps to my right, so I make it 1500. We're still playing 200, 400 with pocket sevens, and we go heads up to the flop. So there's just me and the aggro player, a couple to our right. Good player, just aggro. The flop comes down ace queen 10. I decide to bet really small here. I bet 900, and he just calls. So I feel confident that he's not got a strong hand, probably just a one pair holding, something like that. Maybe a pocket pair under the board, similar to me, maybe the 10, maybe even the queen. I think if he had a stronger hand than that, we'd have heard from him straight away because of my small sizing. The turn is a brick, he checks, I size up here with 3k. He does think about it for a minute, but he does eventually decide on a fold. Not easy to get this guy to fold, so pretty happy with this. And he ends up, as he folds, he ends up showing us a 10. So I decide to, show him the sevens, just to show him that I haven't always got it. Obviously, the last time he called me off, I had trips with the ace king, so I wanted to show him that, sometimes we don't have it as well. So I showed him that it was actually a bluff, which pays off later. Right, guys, strap in. This one's quite a juicy one. So we're now playing 300, 600. I've got about 60, just over 65 in my stack from a 50,000 starting stack. So we're doing okay. We're building steadily. Happy days. So we've looked down here at the 7, 8 of hearts. I open, I go for 1400 at the 300, 600 blind levels, as I say, and we get just the one caller, I believe. So it's just, we're going heads up to the flop, and it comes down all right for us. It comes down nice. It comes down jack, queen, 5 with 2 hearts. He's on the button, so it's me to lead out, and I bet 2,200. Obviously we've got the flush draw. He could have hit this board with his calling range, so we're not, excited until we hit our, unless we can hit a heart, of course. We lead out for 2,200, and he quite quickly sticks in the call. It's interesting. He sort of had a little look at me beforehand, so that may be relevant in a minute. The turn comes down just an absolute beautiful card. It comes down the ace of hearts, so we get there straight away. Happy days. Don't want to scare him off with his one pair holdings, so he could have king queen, 10 jack, that kind of holding, so we don't want to scare him off. So we bet 3,100 just to build the pot, and again he calls instantly. The river now is a queen. Not the best card in the deck, because if he had some sort of 2 pair holding with the queen, he now has a boat. So we sort of put a decent size bet in, could call it a block, so I suppose we put 8k in. He doesn't snap me off, so initially I do think I'm ahead. And I obviously want him to call. He then starts talking about the amount of combos that he's losing to. And he mentions ace, queen and aces, so he's deciding whether to call or raise. So he's obviously got jack, queen. So I tell him that there's not many combos, sort of trying to scare him into just calling. Not that it matters, because he's basically announced his hand. He flicks in the call, I just announce a small flush, and yes, he has jack, queen. So a pretty disgusting run out here, and we lose a good sized pot. Next break, guys. We are on 51k, so just above start stack. We got up to about 67. And then you just saw that brutal one. I'm a little bit tilted, so the break's come at a good time. That was finally hit a flush. And then just the worst river card ever. I'm actually glad I bet the river, because I set the price and he was still worried. I think I sort of talked him into just calling, so he was worried about a couple of combos. But beat him aces, ace queen. Just the sickest river though. He was calling me off on a brick, and I'd have been up to 90k-ish. Been in really good shape. So back down to 51, so we're going to grind. It's very, very hot, very sweaty. Aircon. Okay, guys, we're back playing 400, 800. I look down at Queen 5 of Hearts on the big blind. Middle position player makes it 1700. The button calls, and I decide to defend as well. The flop comes down Queen, Queen 9. Lucky days. I check, obviously in flow. The initial raiser checks as well, and then the button, the Aggie player, bets 2.5. I give it a minute, and then I decide to make it 6 straight away. Now, there's a couple of hearts on board. Sorry, not a couple of hearts, a couple of spades on board. So I decided to make it 6 straight away, just paying, making those flush draws pay. I think he's got a flush draw, he's going to put in the call here. I think he'll call a 9. Yeah, I think especially after showing the bluff earlier. So I think there's lots of cards, lots of hands that you can call with. You might 10 jack. There's so many hands that you would bet this flop with the calls. Even maybe an under pair, and he thinks I'm having a laugh or I've got the draw. So yeah, lots and lots of opportunities. I think it's actually a good play out of position to raise this flop. I feel like if I just flat, and then I have to check in flow on the turn, he's going to check behind and get to see a lot of free rivers. And he could obviously improve if he is on some sort of draw, which is why I decided to raise. He takes a long time, as you can see here. Eventually he does fold, so I'm assuming it was just air.
Okay guys, made it to the next break. I think you maybe saw one hand there. They're doing a 15-minute break every 2 levels, so every hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, I basically just obviously folded other than the one hand you saw where I defend the big. I think I played maybe one other hand. I tried a little mini bluff, didn't work, it's fine. Got 44,500. I think we go back to 6 and 1200 blinds, so still 40 big, so still got plenty. Been very card dead so far. The heat is abysmal. They've ran out of ice, there's no aircon. It's just awful. It's very bad conditions to be playing poker in. Anyway, house tables. So where'd I put the hat, guys? Not a hat. Where'd it go? Hat. House tables. There we go. So yeah, these are the guys. They're brilliant. They built my table, my custom table. They basically I think they're the table sponsor. I think that's what it's called. And they build the tables for the stream tables for the PartyPoker tour, and they run the stream as well, if that makes sense. They do all the cameras and they do all the cards, etc, etc. So really cool guys. Yeah, so like I say, this isn't sponsored by them or anything like that, but they did hook me up with playing this main event, which is really cool. Obviously I'll sell wear their gear. Yeah, so if you are interested in having your own custom table built, they do the dimensions, the shape, you can have a rail, no rail, whatever you want really, LEDs, all the stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, check them out. It's just I'll put a link to the website in the comments, but yeah, really good guys, so check them out. I'm going to keep grinding. Hopefully we pick up some hands. I'd like to have a double or 2. That'd make the heat a little bit more bearable. Yeah, see you in a bit. Forgot to say, interesting situation. So the button got moved twice when it was meant to be on me. So I was small blind, and then button skipped me and went to the geezer to my left. Called it out, but there'd already been action. So the hand had to carry on, and then they were going to correct it the next hand. So basically the button was going to come back one, so no one misses their blinds. I get my button, and then it skipped the geezer to my left and move on one. So it sort of corrects itself. Crazy thing was, the hand where it skipped me, the guy that should have then been in the big blind with the button on me, got railed, lost all his chips, sorry. And yeah, so then the floor was called again. And then they just said, you missed your button, because the other guy couldn't go in the big blind twice in a row. But just thought it was an interesting spot. I thought I'd share it with you. So yeah, I missed the button. Maybe that was a moment. Who knows? The cards to turn. Anyway, interesting spot.
Right guys, I was a little bit late getting my camera set up for this one. So we've got Ace King of Clubs. The cut-off makes it 2,500. The big blind is now 1,200, so it's just over 2x. The button calls, and I make it 7,500. They both decide on a call, and the flop comes 3, 4, 5 with 2 spades. Now, some players would say you should continue bet here when you free bet 3. I decide against it. It's a really bad board for my hand, unless I've got a big overpair. I check, and there's 2 spades on board as well. The initial raiser just jams. So I fold. Am I ahead of any spade combos? Yes, I could be. Do I need to put it in for almost all of my stack here? Absolutely not. We'll wait for a better spot. So we elect a fold. Right, we've lost a couple of smalls. We've opened with ace jack, we've opened with king queen. We've just bricked out, lost both of them. So we're down to 30, just under 39k. I'm on the small blind. There's a small raise from the, I think it's the cutoff. And I just decide to jam my ace jack from the small blind. I actually get called by the Aggie player with jack queen of hearts. We're in absolute great shape for a double up here. The flop comes clean, jack 6 4 rainbow. The turn is a queen, of course it is. Honestly, this game I just can never ace on the river. We got one. Double up. Guys, we're going old school on this one. Didn't get any footage. I'll explain why, but it's a good hand, so it's one worth telling you about. So basically we're playing 800, 1600. I limp on the button with 7, 8, 1 spade. That is relevant, I'll tell you why in a minute. Small blind I think makes up, and the big blind obviously just checks. So it's just us 3 in the pot, no one else played. And the flop comes down 6, 10, king with 2 spades. It checks round. The turn is a 5 of spades, so that gives me a open ender and a small flush draw. They both check again. I bet 2,400 and they both call, okay? Good player in the small blind and a party poker pro in the big blind. So again, both good players. The river is, well, a brick for me. It's a queen, obviously not a spade. Doesn't help me at all. They both check again, so I'm assuming they've got 1 pair holdings. I can't win this pot unless I bet. So I bet 11,000, so I size up a little bit here. Small blind quickly folds, and the big blind takes what felt like an eternity. Didn't actually use a time bank, but did use his full 30 seconds and eventually folded the hand. I didn't show it, but it was good to get that one through, and we chip up nicely.
That was a better session, guys. Right, so we're on another break, 15 minutes again. That's the end of late reg. 85k. We go back to 1 and 2k blinds. We've got 40 of bigs, so good turnaround. Still, obviously, we're not there yet. You know, we'll probably need at least 150 to get through today too. So we just got to keep going. I just got a nice bluff with that. Annoyingly, I didn't click the camera, but I would have just told you about it anyway, just with no footage. So a little bit of fresh air, aircon, whatever, and then straight back in again. So come on.
Not much to report on this one, guys. It folds around to the small blind. He's got like 6 bigs. He jams. I slowly peel and have pocket 8s. Obviously, we flick in a call. And yeah, he's got 3-7 offsuit. So fair play to the lad. I respect it. Ball comes down queen 8-4. So we finally flop a set when there's, you know, maximum 12 big blinds up for grabs. Fantastic. He does turn a flush draw, but it does brick out on the river. So we do hold to win small one. Right, guys, we look down at kings on the small blind. Under the gun has made it 5,500. The blinds are now 1 and 2.5 thousand. The button calls, so I make it 25k. The initial raiser takes a long time. This could be one of a couple of hands, okay? I already am putting him on fairly strict hands. It's either a hand like ace king, ace queen suited, I don't even think ace jack suited, or a middling pocket pair, 7s, 8s, 9s, something like that. Pretty sure it's one of those 2 holdings. Yeah, he eventually sticks in the call, and the button eventually folds. So again, possibly have a similar kind of hand to the initial raiser, because he does take his sweet time about it. I do some accountancy, and after the 25k, we've still got about 70 odd in the stack. So we're not doing horrifically, we're doing okay. He's eyeballing me the whole time, as you can see on the footage. He's clearly interested. And the flop comes down ace 9-8 with 2 diamonds. This is probably the worst board I could ever see in this specific spot. Again, most players would see bet here. I check and see what he does. He's going to tell me the strength of his hand. I'm pretty sure of it. He decides to bet 20,000. So about third pot. And I quickly fold. And yeah, he shows pocket nines. So he flopped the set. Pretty brutal. That was going to be a nice size pot. We'd have had, 120k there. And been absolutely cruising into day 2. Hey ho, we battle on. About 20 minutes later, we're rewarded with pockets aces. It's literally, it folds around to the small blind. He limps. I make it 8k. We're playing 1,500, 3,000 blinds now. I make it 8. He instantly jams. Of course, I snap it off. And we are absolutely buzzing to see that he's got pocket 8. So we're in really great shape here. 80% favourite to get a good double. Jack 4-6, really clean flop. 7 does give him a gut shot. 135k pot.
It never changes. Kings, crap by pocket 9s, lose the minimum. Aces against 8s, small blind against big blind. Bait him in perfectly. 8 on the river. What am I fucking meant to do, man? I just can't. I just don't know how. Again, it's for 130k pot. Absolutely heaps. 40 odd bigs. It's every time, guys. I don't know. Watch the other videos. Watch the channel. Like, it's just fucking constant. It's just constant.